The man of the hour is Australia's most viewed recorder player.
Do you know what that is?
That's Sandstorm.
Yeah.
Urgently taking this placenta to the fridge. It's a race against time.
In more recent years, you've transitioned into fatherhood. How's that process been for you?
So my missus wanted to keep the placenta. It was a process.
You got your skate school where you teach kids, but you also have a whole project dedicated to get people on boards that otherwise couldn't.
I've seen so many different, diverse range of disabilities, and I've been able to help everyone. It's been awesome.
I've barely ever in my life been around people with disabilities.
Yep.
What would you say the approach is, how to talk and interact with these people?
If I see someone with disability and I don't know them from a bar of soap, I just...
Welcome to the Better Bloke Podcast. I'm Matty.
I'm Rob.
And we're just a pair of average blokes on a mission to try and be a little bit less average.
We're going to speak about all things highs and lows of what it feels like to be a bloke, plus speak to some legends along the way about what it takes to be a better bloke. Let's get stuck in.
The man of the hour is Australia's most viewed recorder player, pro skater, and you do a whole bunch of other cool stuff too. It's Jesse Noonan in the house.
How are you, boys? Good to be here.
Welcome to the couch.
Mate, I'm happy to be on this couch. It's my first podcast ever, and I'm pumped.
That's crazy because you spent a lot of time on camera. Like, you're pretty big on the old Instagram. Are you on TikTok?
I am on TikTok, actually, yeah. I don't like TikTok as much as I like Instagram. I don't know why. It just doesn't flow for me. Instagram feels right, I think, yeah.
A little background on you, right? So essentially you've been a professional skater most of your adult life?
Yep. Yeah, I've been pro for a long time. Yeah, I've been in the game for ages, and it's just my life now. You know, I'm in too deep to get out of it now, so I got to stick with it.
So you two are from that scene.
Yep.
I'm not from that scene. What is the difference between a pro skater like yourself and some kid down at the skate park just trying to bust an ollie?
Yeah. Well, I guess the difference is one of us is getting paid to do it and one of us isn't getting paid to do it. That's the pretty much
the
definition of professional. Rob. You know what that means.
All right. Thanks, guys.
No, I mean, just I put the innings in and got to a point where people were keen to support me and pay me to do it. I guess just the groms at the skate park haven't got to that point yet, but they definitely will get there.
Yeah.
You know, 100%. Just got to stick at it. I stuck at it for ages before it paid off for me. I fucking love it.
Yeah, you're probably one of the first to admit that there's guys out there that are better skaters than you.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Right? Yeah. But there was something in the way you were able to put it all together that you're able to turn it into a profession, multiple channels, the way that, you know, you had the school and all this sort of stuff.
Yep.
How intentional was that, or did it kind of fall into place?
It was really unintentional. Like, there's always been people better at skating than me, but I just feel like the energy that I have brought to my skateboard and the vibe that I think people get from being around me while I am skateboarding is what separated me from the pack, you know? Like, I fucking love it. And I'm just having a good time, you know? Some people might be better skaters, but they're fucking being too hard on themselves, and, you know, it's not really that pleasant to be around, so that could hold people back a little bit, you know?
Is that something that, because you enjoy it so much, you reckon that's what's progressed you further down the professional path?
Yeah, definitely. If you really love something and you enjoy it, it's gonna pay off, you know. But if you're just fucking beating yourself up over shit, like stuff that doesn't matter in the skate park, then people aren't gonna want to be around it, I guess. Right?
For the boys listening, because when they think of professional athletes, we're thinking rugby, AFL, and you get your contract and you play your games. You don't even really compete anymore, do you?
No.
So you're able to be a professional skater as an athlete without actually doing the competitions, because there's so many other avenues that you're able to do.
Yeah.
And still be in the industry of skate, where guys that haven't figured out a way to access all those other areas, once they fall off the competition circuit with these kids that are crazy, kind of what's left.
Yeah, exactly, right. You know, if you put all your eggs in the one basket, you know, all those eggs are going to hatch and they're going to fucking fly away. You know, you got to have...
I love metaphors. Love metaphors.
Fucking really horrible metaphor, but you know what I mean. But like, so you know, I saw from an early point that my skateboarding career wasn't going to last forever, right? I've seen some of my idols that had it all lose it all. So I was like, fuck, what do I got to do? How do I maintain my life within skateboarding? So I started a skate school like 10 years ago, which I figured once my sponsorships all dried up, then I could just fall into that. But unknowingly, that's helped my sponsorships because now I have reached to over 400 kids a week that are watching what I'm doing, that I'm interacting with personally. And that's like invaluable to any brand, you know, to have that direct connection with the kids on the front line. So it kind of helped me by accident, which was awesome, you know, rather than if I had have waited until I'd washed up and then started it, and then I would have already lost those eggs. But to start something while you still have the eggs in the basket, there's the metaphors getting better.
Oh, yeah.
That's good.
It's getting better.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, like if you can sort of try and set yourself up before it finishes, then it could keep you alive for longer.
And that's sort of something that we speak about pretty regularly with going out there and trying to do something before you're forced to do it. Yeah. Like give it a go. Yeah. And what you've done is you've pretty much diversified your business while you still had, well, your business is yourself. Like you are your brand essentially.
Exactly. Yeah.
But you've diversified that through these different outlets, and it's only helping you grow.
Yeah, it's
because of it.
I feel like my career is better now than it ever has been. You know, I'm a 33-year-old skateboarder from the Gold Coast, and it feels like I'm still the fucking grommet at the skate park that just got his first sponsor. Like I'm frothing. It's feeling good. I'm pumped.
On that, like I guess most kids are going to give up skateboarding and recording when they get to about 15.
Yeah.
You've managed to keep it going into your 30s.
Yeah.
How important do you think it is to like maintain that sort of playful aspect of being a bloke?
I might add just there, I'll jump in. When Matty says recording, he doesn't mean filming. He means literally playing the fucking recorder.
Yeah.
I'll put it in the intro. We'll go. Let's talk about that.
I the recording was it was a complete accident. So I had a couple of weeks off work, staying home with the grommet for Christmas last year. It was December, and I found this recorder in his toy box. So I'm like playing the recorder, and my missus is like, "You sound like fucking shit. Learn something good." And I was like, "All right, I will." So I probably within about 10 days of nonstop practicing, nailed the Titanic song, and that just felt like skateboarding. It felt like I just did my first kickflip. I was like, "What the fuck? This is sick." So I've just kept practicing, and I've learnt heaps of songs now.
So not you just generic 3 Blind Mice or hot cross buns.
But I got heaps. I got like some Queen shit. I obviously got the Titanic. I got some Dido. I got some Jerry Rafferty sort of going on. But I was at a punk gig on the weekend, and I got on stage and I was fucking smashing the recorder with Coffin. Have you guys heard of Coffin, the band? They're pretty sick. And then I accidentally kicked the guitarist's distortion pedal, and it cut his whole guitar off. And they're like, "What the fuck? Get this recorder guy off the fucking stage." And I was like, "Well, fuck you guys." And I fucking headbutted the recorder in half and just threw it on the ground and just kept moshing.
Full rocking.
But now I've only got half a recorder.
So you can only play half the notes then?
I only got 2 notes. I've got it.
Oh, yeah, nice.
I told you, he doesn't go anywhere without it.
Well, I've got to go get a new one. But I was walking out of the bar and this chick's like, "Hey, you need this back." I was like, "Oh, thank you so much." But I have one song I can play with it.
Oh, give us now's the time.
So I've only got the 2 notes. So. Do you know what that is?
That's Sandstorm by
Fuck
That Road.
Fuck
yes.
yeah, it is.
Yes, it is.
That's the only song I could work out with these fucking 2 notes. But
That's unreal. That's so good.
How good.
I think is that a world first?
Yeah, well, we were asking this before. What is a professional recorder player called? Are they a recordist?
A recorderer?
a recorder. Oh, well, this is my talent for recording really skyrocketed quickly. You know, I'm quite new to the scene, you know, so
I imagine it's a big scene
it's
too,
a huge, yeah, it's actually a huge scene. I actually I've connected with a lot of recorder players throughout the world now, and this one dude, Richard Lindsay, he's fucking goat. He plays a recorder in the corner song. He's a big inspiration of mine. And there's this lady in Amsterdam. No, she's in Sweden. She messaged me and she's like, thank you so much. Like, you've inspired me to buy a recorder. And because of you, I'm confident to play my recorder. And
Changing
I've
lives
changed
with a
her
recorder.
life. And she's from Sweden. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, this little piece of plastic changed someone's life in fucking Sweden.
That's
That's so good.
crazy. If there's any big recorder producers watching the podcast, we are in need of a new recorder.
Yeah.
You might be able to get your Spono deal on that one.
Yeah, maybe I can step it up, you know. Yamaha, what is it? Fucking Yamaha.
Yeah, let's diversify
go.
that income a little bit further.
Yeah, this could be Yamaha shirt right here.
Yeah, back to what I was saying about the importance of like keeping a playful sort of attitude towards life. How has that been like pretty intentional? Because like you could have at any stage been like, oh, it's not working that good. I'm going to go get my 9 to 5.
Well, I have worked some 9 to 5s before and I realize how shit they are. So I realize that I have to just keep going on what my mission is and it'll pay off. And I think if I hadn't have had those 9 to 5s earlier in life, I might not have appreciated what was happening for me at the time, because some of my friends were getting bigger deals than me, like pushing way harder on the money side of things than me. But the fact that I knew how shit the 9 to 5 vibe is, I was like, that saved me.
Made you push that much harder.
Yeah, and because of that is why I'm still doing what I'm doing now, and other people aren't, you know? So yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
Do you reckon because you've kept up with being I'm not even going to say semi-pro recorderer. I'm just going with that. That's what we're going to call it.
Yeah.
So a fully blown professional recorderer,
I'm blushing.
and now you're you're a professional skateboarder.
Yeah.
So both of those things people usually grow out of them by the time they're maybe like grade 4.
Yeah.
You obviously haven't.
Well, it's beautiful
Catapulted.
fusion. Like, I don't think, you know, people have skated and people have played recorder, but not many people have, you know, created this beautiful fusion of two amazing, such pure things. You know, skating's so pure and the recorder is so pure. There's like not many notes on it, but what you can do with those notes is unbelievable. Like,
Simple,
yeah.
elegant, the synergy.
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 Are
And
we just,
honestly,
we're just doing recorder ads now, are we?
it's like, Better Bloke Recorder Project. Like, you got next
That's it.
episode, these guys both have recorders.
It's just opening with a recorder. It's Darude Sandstorm.
That's our theme song.
Yeah.
I was thinking for Halloween, like when the kids come to my house, I just have a big bucket of recorders and they're like, where's the candy? Like,
No candy here.
Fucking-
Just recorders.
Or you could get those little fucking flute lollipop things, like little.
Do they still make them?
Yeah. The two cans.
Ooh.
Pretty sick.
That would be unreal. And they're delicious too.
They are fucking delicious.
Fuck, I want some of them now.
Let's jump into the work you do with sort of the disabled crew.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
So you got your skate school where you teach kids, but you also have a whole project dedicated to get people on boards that otherwise couldn't. Tell us a little bit about that.
Okay, so Rock and Slide is my main skate school. That's for the mainstream children, which are children that don't have disabilities. And then so I have Skate Advantage, which is a wing of Rock and Slide that caters for people of all disabilities. And I've seen people from intellectual disabilities where that you wouldn't notice they're disabled, all the way through to people with cerebral palsy who, you know, can't use their bodies and are unable to do a lot of things. So I've seen so many different diverse range of disabilities and I've been able to help everyone. It's been awesome. And it's just getting better and better. You know, it's sick. It's good.
With Skate Advantage that you've got, so helping those that probably weren't able or aren't able to skate previously.
Yep.
What got you into that? Is that your love of skating, or are you related to anyone that's got a disability? Or
So my mum is the biggest legend ever, and she's worked at TAFE for like the last 30 years or something, and was teaching people how to be personal trainers. And part of the personal training course was they had to volunteer at the Disability Athletics Carnival. So every year when I was a little kid, I think, you know, from the age of 10 to the age of 14, 15, every year I'd volunteered at the Disability Athletics Carnival with the group. And I just loved it. I fucking love it. Like just the vibe and, you know, everyone's there for each other and it's sort of a really pure form of competition and just being around the energy. So then once I got the skate school going, and it had legs, and it just like a lightning bolt hit me on the tip of the fucking dome, and I was like, fucking, I need to skate with some disability clients, well, skaters. So my two skaters, Louie and Rudy, they've been with me for ages. Their sister Tilly has cerebral palsy, so they came to a lesson, and I didn't know this, but I've been skating with them forever. So that Tilly came one day. I was like, boys, who's that? They're like, oh, it's my sister Tilly. I was like, oh, we're getting Tilly on a board. So I was like, to her mum, I was like, let's get her skating. And that day I had her skating, you know, she has a walking frame, and I fucking got the drill out and drilled holes in the board, and we rigged it up, turned into Tilly's skate lesson, hijacked the boys' session. But then Tilly got hooked. So since that was about 7 years ago, and since then me and Tilly have been skating together the whole time. And then through Tilly, because she's pretty famous, she's pretty sick, that gained other people's interest, and then it's snowboarding now, and I have a good crew of people that Tilly has really inspired to be on the board, you know, because she was the first one with me.
That's unreal.
And she's gnarly, and like the fact that she was willing to trust me and let me help her skate. Now we're a good team, and we've been trying to break the land speed record. We got the custom skate frame built for people with disability, so you can support people that don't have use of their bodies and stuff like that. And then we got the bloody Evolve skateboard going on behind it. I think I got it up to like 30K, and it was sketchy.
A bit sketchy.
So sketchy.
But man, they love it. I remember that video you put out of, I don't know the guy's name.
James, was it James,
Yeah.
the big guy? Yeah,
like
James.
he's in the chair.
Yeah.
So I don't know, he's always been in a chair.
Oh, he had an accident when he was 21, drink driving, wrapped his car around a tree, and he's 44 now. So he spent 20 odd years in that chair. And the one day a week he gets out of the chair is for the skate with me, you know?
And you should have seen this bloke, because he's been capped on how fast he can actually go. And you're behind him on this electric skateboard, fanging it. And he's a big dude too.
He's like 115 kilos.
Yeah, so he's not pulling up real quick then.
Oh no, it's hard.
No.
It's hard. But he's down for it. He wants to go 100 k's an hour.
He like overcome, like absolutely ecstatic. Like he was freaking out just because of the speed and the adrenaline rush.
I think
Just
that's-
overloaded his body, man. It was so cool to see.
Yo, we'll just go that fast, and then we'll stop and almost crash, and then me and James will just both be in hysterics, just like, holy shit. Like
That's
I've got so
good.
much adrenaline rush too. I don't know what he's feeling, but collectively we're just fucking juiced.
I guess because you're giving them that opportunity where it's such a normal thing that like us three would take for we would just take it for granted. Where you're giving them an opportunity to not that they're not normal, but like that normal
To
feeling.
normalize
their
their day to day. And after I've been at the skate park so much with them, especially at Pizzy, like been down there I'm going to say 7 years doing this. The skate park has accepted them as well, because at first I'd go through with different clients, and the skate park would be turning their head, like knowing how to acknowledge these people, not knowing how to say hello. But now I roll through, whether it be Tilly, whether it be James, anyone else, and the skate park's like, hey, what's up? People come up, give them knuckles, give them cuddles and stuff. And because we've had them in the open doing that, it's just normal now. So at the skate park, it's normalized their presence, and it's good for them, you know. And it should be like that everywhere. It should be like that in the shops. You go to the shops, you see people turning their heads, looking away from people with disabilities, and it should just be normal and accepted, man. They're legends.
I completely. Well, Matty and I actually spoke about this.
Yeah, I got a question on that.
Yeah, go on, you go.
So I've barely ever in my life been around people with disabilities.
Yep.
So no one's ever sort of told you the right way to do it. Obviously, it's just like try and treat everyone normally and nicely and stuff. But
Yeah.
at the same time, it's like I don't know how to gauge how to talk and interact with these people.
Yeah.
What would you say the approach is to if you see someone that has some form of disability
Yep.
and you don't know what's going on with them, what do you do?
I just if I see someone with disability and I don't know them from a bar of soap, I just completely be myself, 100%. I'll talk to them just like I'm talking to you right now. Just be a real person. People with disabilities don't want to be like, oh, hello, how are you? Or having a good day today. Like they just want to be normal. So just be normal to them, you know? And if you're unsure of anything, you can ask them, you know? Or they might have a carer who knows the answers to certain questions. Be like, hey, how does Billy like to be spoken to? Does he like to be called a certain thing? Just be open. Just be honest.
Yeah, sick.
If you just be honest and open and ask the right questions, and it's just,
Yeah, and then I guess do you kind of gauge it as you go?
yeah,
'Cause,
everyone's different, right? So it's such a big spectrum of disability. So I have to treat lots of people in different ways. You know, some people I skate with, they can't handle the loud noise. So they skate with earplugs in and stuff like that. So I might, you know, turn it down a little bit and be like, you know, what's up? You know, still staying true to myself. But then the other crew, they want to listen to bloody Eminem explicit as loud as they can. So it's a completely different vibe. And we can sort of be silly and just say a little bit of swear words and have a giggle, you know. But just be open with people, you know, be yourself and don't baby them.
I think that's the biggest thing. That's what we were discussing. Where so my brother-in-law, so he's got cerebral palsy.
Okay.
And so my two little ones,
Yep.
they've grown up with him, and they're like, yeah, it's Uncle Sam. Like they don't see it as any different for anyone else. It's just that he's in a wheelchair. Where they'll walk through the shops and they'll see, like, you know, other people in wheelchairs. They don't even turn a blind eye. Where you'll see some kids that maybe haven't been exposed to it. They'll stare, and everyone, like, you see their parents go like, "Oh, stop staring." Where when you're telling your kids to stop staring, all you're doing is you're just sort of highlighting it and making it sort of that taboo thing to, I don't know, like you got to speak to, like you not having any exposure to it or anything like that, or how to speak to one, how to speak to someone. When you do that and you go like, "Oh, don't stare, don't talk to them," you're sort of just highlighting, like what you said, you've never dealt with anyone. So how do you talk to them? What do? You just talk to them like normal people.
Just
speak
walk
to them
up
like
to
normal
them,
people.
say hello, grab them by the hand and give them a handshake. Like,
And they're always the friendliest people too. Like Sam is just the biggest ball of energy all the time. And I always imagine that I'm like, fuck, if I was in that situation, like how would I feel? But he's happy as shit. He's the best kid.
Yeah. It's
He's
inspirational
unreal.
to see people be so happy when they, you know, are in those situations, but they're looking at the positive side of life, you know, which is good.
Yeah. We filmed together. Like we filmed this thing when you first built the frame.
Yep.
So like Tilly was there.
Yep.
And I was chatting to them and like easy with her. But I think the thought I was having is like, especially the guys that are maybe more like intellectually different. Like I don't want to like, I don't know, just do the wrong thing, like come up too hard and then like maybe that's not what you're supposed to do. I don't know. So I think that's where my hesitation sort of comes from.
If there's some people that are heavily intellectually disabled, 9 times out of 10, they're going to have a support worker with them or a carer with them. So if you're uncomfortable, I think just talk to the carers, you know, and just if you do want to approach that person and you feel like you're going to say hello to them and you're unsure and you're nervous, don't feel afraid to ask the carer what is cool and what's not, you know, which is a good way to approach them in a respectful way.
Yeah, I guess that's what they're there for too.
That's what they're there for, yeah, for sure. But yeah, I think they definitely should be normalised and we should see them all as normal people, which they are.
100%.
You know, for sure.
How do you think the skate community in general deals with like a more diverse group of people? Because the old school skate and die culture is sort of like, it's still there, but it's like minimal.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot more like crews popping up where there's these women's skate groups, stuff like you're doing.
Yep.
It's very community driven. Do you think it's pushing in that direction of like the diversity and the community?
Yeah. I think the whole community is coming together at the skate park, specifically with skateboarding, and the inclusion side of things at the skate park is changing right before my eyes. Like when I was a grommet, you'd rock up to the park and, you know, Barry and Johnny might be sitting there with a tally and mum's scared to come up and drop me off at the skate park and, you know, whatever. But now it's such an inclusive, safe space and everyone's there for each other and it's just a really positive change. It's slowly happening, you know. It's not at every skate park, but I'm seeing it specifically on the Gold Coast, you know, which is awesome.
Yeah, definitely the park's more catered towards a younger crowd. Like you see this acceptance and that's going to happen when you put a whole bunch of kids there.
Yeah, for sure.
I think parents are sort of cluing onto it that skating, when you think of it, is like an individual sport. but it's not really because you never skate by yourself.
Yeah, that's it, right? Yeah, it is an individual sport in some aspects, but as a collective, it's a group sport, you know, because, yeah, I don't like skating by myself. I go for one run by myself. I'm like, oh, no, what's next? But if you got the homies there, if you got some energy, some vibe, then you're frothing.
Does that make you push it that much harder if you feel like if you go there on a solo run just to work on some stuff? Do you find you're not pushing yourself as hard as like just say your mates go there and they're just giving you so much hype?
Oh, if I've got my mates there to try and show off in front of, I'll get so hyped up.
No one's got to the highest level of action sports without being
Hype
having
is,
the boys around.
Hype is the key ingredient, right? You need the crew around you to hype you up. Because if you eat shit, you need someone to laugh at you, right?
Yep.
If I land on my face and poo my pants, I want someone to be there to laugh at me. Far out. Yeah.
I think that's an interesting point for our audience is that like if you're looking to get kids into surf, because like you got your son into footy and that
Yep.
purely for the team aspect and being able to relate to other people, you can get that in these action sports because just because you're doing it by yourself doesn't mean there's like a whole crew of people doing it. So interesting thing to think about.
Lots of kids that don't thrive in team sports that might be a bit anxious about letting people down, you know, because in footy, you know, if you fumble the ball, you know, got 3 or 4 boys pissed at you. Some kids don't like that that pressure. Whereas skateboarding and extreme sports, solo sports, they can still be a part of the group, but they're not going to have that external pressure from letting people down, which lets them thrive and lets them really be themselves and be happy, you know.
And it'd be good because it's such a low entry level sport essentially to start off with. Like you can, not that we're endorsing going out and buying cheap shit, but you could go out and buy like a $30 skateboard from Kmart if you wanted to get yourself into it, couldn't you?
100%. I don't recommend that because
No,
they don't fucking work. Go to Cash Converters. They got some good stuff.
Cashies.
Yeah, Cashies have good skateboards. But yeah, you could get a board off Gumtree or Cashies, $50. It's half decent.
Yeah.
And get stuck into it, you know. It's not, and the skate parks are free. We have our Pizzy Park, dude. That's like a multi-million-dollar sporting facility. That's free. Like, what the hell? How good's our council giving us all these skate parks? And on the Gold Coast, we've got so many good ones, man. So many good ones. We're so lucky.
And then even from what you were saying before, where the fact that there's so many people at these parks and everyone's so inclusive, if you're a parent wanting your kid to get into something and try it, they're not going to get shit hung on them like in the old days when I remember the skate parks back in the day used to be rough as guts.
Yeah, that's
it doesn't sound like that now.
Well, they were rough as guts when I was starting out too. So I'm pretty sure my parents didn't even want to get out of the car sometimes. Like, go on, have your skate, and then wait in the car. It's not like that anymore. No way. Depending on the suburb, you could find some rough parks. But
Bray Park's still rough.
Yeah. I'm not naming any names, but there's some rough parks out there. But 90% of them are chill, good vibes. So it's all good. It's all gravy.
That's good.
Yeah.
We spoke about this a few weeks ago. Was kind of like skating is pushed way more mainstream. We're talking Olympics. We're talking like mainstream media attention, and that's changing the sport quickly. We're seeing the progression of these young athletes coming in, and now like the teenagers are like competing at a level so high that they're just changing the landscape of the whole sport. Man. So how do you see the changes that have happened in the last, say, 10, 15 years?
Well, I think, honestly, the internet's changed everything. The internet is hugely to thank for the progression, right? When I was a grommet, had one video, one VHS. Well, I think it was like Zero Dying to Live, just people skating handrails. I thought that's all that you did on a skateboard, you know, like looking out for handrails, jumping downstairs and stuff. But my mind was only open to that one DVD. But now everything's at their fingertips. Everything's possible. And Instagram is just going like, this is the new hardest trick. This is the new hardest trick. So the kids are growing up watching that evolution. That's opening their minds to what is possible more, you know? So the possibilities are now everything. Whereas when we were growing up, the possibilities were what we saw on that one VHS or the DVD we had at the time, you know? Not to say that it's not from their hard work and fucking going ape shit and putting their bodies online. It's a combination, but internet is big to thank for sure.
Yeah.
So I remember it used to be like you'd do the gnarliest tricks on like Tony Hawk Pro Skater and everyone's like, "Oh, you'd never do that in real life."
Well, now you can.
and now kids are actually doing it in
now
real
you
life.
fucking can. Oh my God. But this kid, Guy Curry, did a bloody kickflip 900 the other day. My God.
How do you take your feet off and then still
Fucking
spin?
hell. It's just, I just looked at it. I couldn't even understand what was happening. Bloody like Tasmanian devil spinning through the bloody air.
Some of the snowboarders are doing like 1280s or more, I think. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, far out. My buddy Valentino, he I think he was doing some 1280s recently, or did some that no one ever done before.
How the fuck do you know where you're at?
I don't know. I don't know where I'm at right now.
Yeah,
Fucking hell.
Vibes creative.
Yeah,
there we go.
It's creative. But it's just different spatial awareness. Being upside down, spinning around. Yeah, I don't know. Especially when you're spinning that much.
Yeah.
Like couple of rotations, but fucking like.
Do you reckon that's something you just send it and you hope for the best,
Yeah, I think
or
you
it is
just
somewhat calculated?
You just
No,
land
but
and
how
then
do
cut
you stop spinning? You're fucking
when you
spinning.
hit the ground.
Yeah, but if you're still spinning when you hit the ground, it's snow, right? You'd have to stop and I'm going straight again, right?
Yeah, fuck, who knows?
I'm not a physicist, so
I reckon they just spin, they land, they try and stay upright, and then they count the spins later.
Yeah. pretty
Like how
much.
many I get in
Just
there.
Hopefully, spin and hope.
So you've had this whole crazy life of doing all this stuff, but more recent years you've transitioned into fatherhood, and as we've spoken to boys about a lot, flips your world on its head a little bit. How's that process been for you?
I mean, it was a process. It started in the bloody in the hospital, right? So
that's usually where it starts.
Great place to start.
So,
it's great.
So my missus wanted to keep the placenta. I'm like, fuck, that's a bit weird. Chill out on the placenta thing. Like,
You can feed the houseplants
yeah,
with
well,
it.
she wants to eat this thing. I'm like, Jesus, chill out. She's like, no, I'm going to make capsules. So the baby comes out and everything, and I'm like, oh, it's a boy. That was an early adrenaline rush in itself. But so I'm like, first thing I had to do was, excuse me, can I keep a placenta? I'm like, yeah. So they give me a bucket, this fucking bucket of placenta. And I'm like, oh yeah, can I just put it in the fridge? And like, no, you can't keep it in the fridge here. I was like, fuck, what do I do? And then my partner said that it had to be in the fridge within like 20 minutes, otherwise it's no good. So I was like, fuck. So I had to like run out of the bloody operating room with this bucket of placenta, skated all the way down to the hotel I was staying at the time, and put it in the fridge in my hotel room. And it was at COVID, so border was shut. My son was born in Tweed, and I was staying over the border in Cooley. So I skated for like 15 minutes as fast as I could with this bucket of bloody guts and placenta and shit. Get to my hotel room, I could put it in the fridge. I'm like, oh, thank fuck. And then I went back to the hotel and then, back to the hospital to enjoy my new son. And it was pretty gnarly. It's a lot of juice in a placenta.
Yeah, I was about. I don't think.
So the next day that I had to organize the transaction with the bloody placenta lady. So she shows up and she's like, "Have you got the goods?" I'm like, "I've got the goods." And like, just gave her some money, gave her the placenta, and the next day she dropped me off placenta tablets.
Yeah, what they like dehydrate it,
they
grind it up, give
make
it in some caps.
make some beef jerky out of it. And fucking,
What's a placenta lady look like? Like I'm picturing dreads, wearing maybe like a floral dress.
Yeah, definitely. I don't know about the dreads. Definitely a bit of floral. She definitely smelled like incense.
Yep.
You know,
Okay.
She was
like-
northern New South Wales.
No, for sure.
Yeah.
She had one of those like a bloody purple like crystal thing on her
Yeah,
necklace thing.
definitely.
You know, like they come out of the bloody dinosaur egg.
Amethyst.
Amethyst, yeah.
Yep.
He's big into his crystals and
Love my
astrology.
crystals.
Are you?
Yeah. No.
It was pretty intense. But yeah, the feeling of having my son was pretty second to none, right? Like, congratulations, sir, he's got a penis.
Yes.
Got a penis.
That's going to get you cancelled now.
Hey,
That's going to get you
Fuck.
cancelled.
I've got this far without being cancelled.
That's
Fuck it
fine.
up. Yeah. But I've got another son due in December. Sorry. I've got another child due in December. I don't know what it is. My son thinks it's a boy.
So you're manifesting another boy?
Well, I don't care. Either way is fine. I've already got the boy. So
Yeah.
I'd probably like a girl. One of each is kind of like the dream scenario, right?
Pigeon pair, that's what I've got.
Yeah, that's
Got
kind of like
one of each?
That's kind of like, pulling out an ace, right? You got one of each.
It is. Oh. Girls are hard, man.
Yeah, but at least you get to experience both.
You do.
But it doesn't matter what I have. I'll be grateful.
Yeah.
As long as that baby's healthy and my partner's healthy. and I don't have to eat any more placenta, it'll be all good.
What's placenta taste like?
Well, I didn't actually chew it up. I did eat the pills, but it gets you
Yeah.
like super energized. It's like heaps of nutrients and like.
That whole time I thought she was eating it for like enhanced recovery or something. I didn't think you would eat it.
Yeah, I was eating it too. I think if it happens again, I'll just take the Weber down to the hospital.
Just cook it up
Just have
there.
a sausage sizzle.
I
with
reckon
the
it'd be
fucking
better
placenta.
smoked. Like,
Yeah.
Get a smoker in there.
I reckon it'd be real gamey.
Yeah.
Like you would think, because it's like, it'd be really red.
Yeah, it'd be red as bloody-
Yeah.
No, it was. I pulled it out of the bucket and had a squeeze at it. Put it on like a hat for a little bit.
Yeah, nice.
I do have videos of all this placenta carrying too. I can send you the video.
You do?
Yeah.
Just like burning down the streets,
Just
trying to get it
in
back.
like, I've got a fucking placenta. I've got 10 minutes to get to my fucking hotel room to get it in the fucking fridge. And I had to skate right through border patrol and shit. They're like, sir. And I'm like, can't wait. Straight through.
Can't stop.
Yeah.
Placenta.
I have a placenta.
And that got you through. They didn't ask any questions.
Yeah, I didn't need a border pass when you
No.
had a placenta.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the trick. If, the Rona ever hits again, they start shutting borders.
Yeah.
Placenta sales are going to go
But-
through the roof.
This is completely irrelevant, but the hospital made me get my vaccines to go into the hospital, and then I get there, and then they're like, okay, you go in. And I got 3 bloody needles that I thought I needed to get to walk in and see my son be born, and I didn't even need them.
Yeah, or three. So that was COVID times.
That was COVID times.
Yeah.
It was like border lockdown
At
time.
least they let you in.
Yeah, true. Yeah, that'd be worse.
But fucking hell.
Yeah, I think they really played everyone's hands with getting the jabs.
Let's not get into the
No,
corona chat.
we won't go
Yeah,
down that path.
no, it's easy, slippery slope. Next
Stick on
subject.
placentas.
Yeah.
No, let's dig into the dad thing because I
Okay.
think it's good chats.
Yep.
Did you have to make any like big life changes? Obviously, there's time commitments, but
Yep.
you're hanging out at a skate park. Like,
Yeah.
it's work, but that might be hard to justify to the missus.
Well, yeah, yes and no. Nah, my partner's really supportive, and she understands what the goal is and what's happening. And when I'm at the skate park these days, I'm 90% of the time I'm working. Like I'm doing classes, teaching the kids. I'm teaching my disability program, teaching our ladies. We got a whole crew of ladies that skate with us now. They're called the Six Sisters. Shout out to the Six Sisters. Big ups to the Six Sisters. But they're epic mums that shred too. So yeah, if I'm not working, I'm at home. But then when I travel, I'll be chipping away on my career stuff, it's the skate pro stuff, like with Volcom and Vans and doing trips and things like that, and going to events and filming silly videos, and which happens quite a lot at this point.
With you, that whole pro side, going back to that.
Yep.
So because you don't compete, is most of your stuff then like content creation side of the pro skating now?
Well, I also realized that I was obviously the kids are getting so good, and I was like, how can I try and stay relevant? So I started diving into Instagram pretty heavily and creating silly content, creating fun stuff to try and keep myself relevant. And at this point, I think it seems to be working, And then the flute came along, and so content creation is a big part of what I'm doing at the moment,
Because you're so out there with all your content on Instagram and the TikTok and all that sort of stuff, when your kids get old enough and there's going to be content of you just being an absolute menace
Yeah,
online.
there's gnarly shit out
Have you
there.
have you thought about that with like,
Well,
hey man, I just watched this video of your dad shredding and playing a fucking recorder.
Well, there was we did a punk gig the other day. I'm in a punk band called The Hunks.
Makes sense.
And it got a bit crazy. So there's some questionable footage from that punk gig online. But my son has come to the punk gigs and he's seen it. He's been front row. So anything he sees on the internet, he's probably seen in real life anyway. So I don't think it'll
So you're
matter.
not too
I think
worried.
it's like that. That's just dad. Yeah, I'm not trying to hide anything. Yeah, fuck it.
No, it's
Just be
good.
who you are. Fuck it.
That's it.
If you want to
That's our
if you
whole
want to wear a
motto.
G-string and dance around in circles, just do it. Just follow your heart
And film it.
and film it. Yeah, and make people laugh.
Film it, put it online, and then try and monetize.
Yeah.
That's what we're trying to do here.
And if you want to start OnlyFans, just fucking do it.
Full
I
send.
actually make all my money from OnlyFans. I don't even skate.
No, that's sweet. It's just tech decks.
On the vert ramp.
Yeah. That's unreal.
Oh my god.
Or, is there anything that you think the skate industry needs? What's it missing? What direction should it go in from your perspective?
Thing that it needs. Oh, look, I don't know. That's a good question. I think it needs more competitions for the kids, more opportunities for the kids to have a clearer pathway to get to a level that they want to get to, you know, and maybe a bit more support from like the government putting more money into like local competitions and stuff, you know, because when you're a kid, competing's kind of like really important in your eyes, you know, like in the big scheme of things, competing's not the end of the world. But when you're a grommet, that's the fuel, that's the fire. That's what's going to push the kids to skate harder in that competition environment. And there's not a lot of competitions for the kids, you know. So I think we could have more comps for the kids, make them fun, but just keep the energy there for them, you know. Keep the froth there, keep them frothy, keep them hungry.
It's like they've put all this money into the infrastructure because they've spent millions and millions on these
Oh,
parks.
shitloads, mate.
And they're doing it in an effort. Like the mayor's come out and said, we're raising this generation for the Olympics and they're going to have all these resources. So they kind of need to go a little bit further to make the most of it with stuff like competitions, like really foster this grassroots community.
Yep.
They're doing it for like AFL, there's all those sort of sports do have so many school programs, so many things like that. And a lot of it is subsidized by councils and governments. So it would be cool to see skate, BMX, God forbid, scoot, become more mainstream in that sense.
Yeah, for sure.
I think that'll help the industry grow. And skate's great too. At the high level, the pros kind of are now making the money that they need to be able to actually do that properly.
There's money in it now for sure.
So that's a good change. So I think now it's at that level, it's like, let's focus on bringing this up to spec with some of these other sports.
I think just competing in general is so good for kids though, where there's so much focus now on like, oh, it's all about just participating. You're not pushing yourself as hard you would know, like if you're just participating, you're not going to push yourself as hard as if you're competing.
Yeah, big time.
So like, and kids need to know that too.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Like, and you know what, it's when it's like we coming back to the skating with the energy, with the mates, with the homies, right? The competition. When I was a kid, even if I didn't win and I gave it my all, I'd be like so pumped, you know, and you'd really flog yourself. When it's your 45 seconds, or whatever, you'll just flog yourself. You'll commit to those tricks that you didn't think you could commit to prior. And it's just, give the kids a little nudge for sure.
I'm big on not just participating.
That's no, participating's cool too, but I just give them a little nudge because there's not enough competitions for the kids at the moment. But I want to see skateboarding in the Paralympics is what I actually really want to see.
That would be sick.
That is my dream to see that happen. Whether I'm there or whether I'm at home watching the television.
Well, they had it at the Olympics this year, didn't they have the blind skater going around the course, didn't they?
Oh.
Was that at the Olympics this year in Paris?
I actually didn't watch the Olympics.
I think that I could be completely wrong here, but I think as like one of the, I don't want to say intermission, but just as like one of the
showcase.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
They had a blind skater there doing gaps and all that sort of stuff, and he'd do his practice run with his stick, and then he'd hit stairs and like gnarly gaps and shit.
Sick.
Few dudes popping on Instagram that are either blind or a couple guys that don't have legs.
Yeah. The dudes with no legs are gnarly, man.
Shredding, man.
Fucked up. They're so gnarly.
There's less height to fall from, but fuck, they fall hard.
Yeah, they go hard. Well, they can't run out
really
of it.
hard.
You got to army roll out of it.
Yeah.
Pretty full on.
Yeah, nah.
But I like the Olympics. I wasn't able to watch it at the time.
That's
I
fair.
think Olympics is sick though.
Yeah. I only watch the highlights really.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Anything that popped up on Instagram.
Yeah, far out. It's all good though. Skateboarding's great. We're in a good spot. Inclusion is growing. We're all in it together.
Do you reckon you could be the front runner for the face of getting skateboarding into the Paralympics?
I don't know if I would be the front runner. I don't know who else is doing it as much as I'm doing it. Maybe I'm pushing for it, so I could be considered.
I think you're coach of the Australian team.
Hopefully, that'd be sick.
I think that's the go.
That'd be sick.
Cool.
Yeah. I mean, I can't think of anyone better to do it. So
I would love to coach.
Paralympic team. This is your man.
Yeah, I'd love to just go there as just a hype. I could be a hype man for the Paralympic team.
Done.
Just be,
recorder.
Yeah, I'll just hype the crew up. I'd bring the vibes. If anyone's nervous, I'll try and just chill the nerves out and just hype them up.
Fuck, green and gold recorder playing Sandstorm.
Oh my god,
Oh,
No,
stop it.
should I play the national anthem?
It's got to be an Aussie classic.
You think waltzing
Sandstorm's an Aussie classic, isn't it?
Yeah, let's go with Sandstorm.
Yeah.
We're going to round that one out. But thanks so much for coming in. Like,
Mate.
everything from placenta to skating to recording. Great chat.
That's my first podcast. I hope I did good, but thanks for having me.
No, so good.
It's amazing.
We'll drop all the links to his socials there. We'll chuck your personal as well as your skate school and Skate Advantage as well. So guys can go and check that out.
Thanks, boys.
Give him some support and go watch the clips because it's awesome.
Actually, one quick thing before we do sign off. You mentioned that you had all your skate mums at the skate park.
Yes.
Is that something that they've started that group now from taking their kids skating?
Yeah, for sure.
It is?
So shout out to Lisa. Lisa's hit me up and she's like, you need to start a mum's class, right? Because she's always at the skate park with her daughter, Saga, skating. And I was like, okay, we'll start a little mum's class. And so she got a few of her friends in and then we put it on social media. And then now we have 3 full classes of mums that 90% of them don't know each other and they're all becoming really good friends. And they've started a skate community for mums called the Six Sisters. So it's just all organically happened from the mums being around the skate lessons with the kids.
Yes, that's unreal.
Yeah, most of the ladies in the class are from parents of kids that are at the skate park. So yeah, it's sick. It's the skateboarding spreading, love is spreading. Rock and roll.
I love that because I'm a big advocate for anyone who's getting their kids into something to do it themselves.
Fucking oath.
Because your kids look up to you like an idol. And if they see you doing that too, that's going to push them to go that much harder and be like, fuck yeah, I've got a cool parent doing this. Whether they're mums, dads, whatever.
Yeah, and you don't want to see mum and dad sitting in the corner scrolling. That's not going to hype your kid up. Get in there, get gritty with them, get it going, hype them up.
God forbid they have some fun.
Yes,
Right?
yeah.
It's gonna be a good time.
The parents have more fun than the kids, I reckon.
Yeah, rate that.
Yeah.
So much.
Sign us out, Rob.
All right. After that little rant, we'll catch you later. And as always, be better. Thanks for tuning in to today's episode of Better Bloke. If you got anything out of it, show some love by dropping a 5-star review below.
If you want to learn more about everything we're doing, head to the description, hit the links and follow us on the socials. If you want to learn more about the project, head to betterblokeproject.org.